everyone, it's Mrs. Lamondo here with
Piano.
What's your name?
Tessa.
Tessa! And we're going to read the next chapter, which is chapter 23 in the Unteachables, told from Kiana's perspective. Cut it out, Chauncey. My half-pint half-brother is crawling all over my notes, which are spread out around me on the floor of the den. His onesie is open. His diaper is sagging. He's teething and drooling. An action figure of a Power Ranger or Transformer clutched in his little fist. Mateo can probably ID it. I made a mental note on Snapchat to picture him. Chauncey's chubby knee comes down on my chart of the atomic masses of elements, shredding the paper, and I freak out. Louise! And then borrowing Dad's line, geez, Louise. Chauncey is startled and bursts into tears. I feel bad about that. Pesky as he is, you can't help getting used to a cute little guy who seems to love you for no logical reason. On the other hand, I need my chart of atomic masses just like I need the periodic table and the other notes I carefully organize on the floor. I'll never understand teachers. Sure, I get that Mr. Kermit has come back from the land of the lost crossword puzzles, but now, totally out of nowhere, he's gone science crazy. The state science assessment is on October 23rd, he announced last week. This is our chance to prove that our class can do as well as any other group, maybe even better. The way he said it, how he made it sound like it was us against everybody else who calls us unteachable, got the whole class on board. Elaine's eyes were practically shining with excitement and purpose. Maybe she thought we were going to dissect somebody. We're like Frodo going up against the dark forces of Middle-earth, Mateo declared. Okay, that's standard Mateo, but even Aldo is sort of into it. Ribbit is framing this like a giant in-your-face to the whole school. No way Aldo can pass up a chance on that. So that's why I'm in the den, up to my ears in graphs and formulas, yelling at a baby. You think I'm thrilled about it? The best thing about being a short timer is you can slack off with no consequences. I can't get that right. What's wrong? Step Monster rushes in and spies her little darling laying waste to my work like Godzilla stomping Tokyo. Oh man, I'm really spending too much time with Mateo. She expertly scoops up him using one arm. I almost barked something rude like, what took you so long? But then I spot a tall glass of iced tea in her other hand. I thought you could use the study break she offers, settling the drink down on the edge of the coffee table. Kiana, your dad and I are so proud of how hard you've been working lately. It annoys me. What does she think she is, my mother? She's definitely not that. I know because she isn't on the movie set in Utah, leaving me in exile. Chauncey hangs off her hip, arms and legs flailing. The action figure flies from his little hand, landing with a curt plop in my iced tea. Chauncey, she scolds, you ruined your sister's drink. Believe it or not, I actually sympathize with her then. Overworked, sleep-deprived, saddled with her husband's California kid. It's not ruined, I point out quickly. It's just, I fish the Power Ranger out, watching the level of tea go down. I drop it back in again and the level rises. My eyes widen in understanding. Archimedes' first law of buoyancy. A floating object displaces its own weight in liquid. I've been trying to understand that all day. I spring up and wrap my arms around Step Monster. Thanks for the tea. Chauncey sinks his newly cut tooth into his thumb and starts bawling again. The science craze even extends to Terra Nova Motors. Jake buys these rolling whiteboards. His mechanic shows how to calculate horsepower and torque. We have a contest to see who can be the quickest to label the parts of an internal combustion engine. Parker wins, even though some of his spellings are a little creative, like crankshaft equals scarfed, think. Jake keeps telling us how important it is to do well on the test to make Mr. Kermit look good. He says it over and over again until his face gets flustered, like he's really stressed about it. What's the big deal? If by some miracle we ace the exam, those good grades will be ours, not our teachers. And if we bomb out, well, then that's on us. How is it Mr. Kermit's fault if his class happens to be dumb at science? Or maybe we're not so dumb. On Friday, we take a practice test, and we do pretty well. I pull off a 92, which is amazing, considering science isn't my best subject. Elaine gets an 86. Both Barnstorm and Rain crack 70. Even Mateo squeaks out a 67, which isn't bad for someone who can't tell the difference between Earth and Middle-earth and thinks the Force and magic are real. Aldo brings up the rear with a 62, but Mr. Kermit steps in before he can get too worked up about it. I know. Think about Aldo. 3 more points and you would have passed. You're a completely different student now. You're reading Where the Red Fern Grows, an award-winning novel. I believe in you, and on test day I know you'll scrounge up 3 more points. Yeah, Aldo exclaims, energized. If I care about whether Old Dan and Little Ann win the coon hunt, I can care about anything, even stupid science. Puffy tails for everybody, cries Barnstorm, waving its crutch in the air. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, our teacher tells us. We don't want to be overconfident for the real test next week, but I'm proud of each and every one of you. If you put these kinds of scores on the actual assessment, it'll say a lot about what we've accomplished together as a class. Those words stick with me, what we've accomplished together as a class. Well, okay, I'm not part of the accomplishment. I'm actually not part of the class. Technically, I'm not even part of the school. Doesn't make any real difference. I'm going home to LA, but not next week. I'll be taking the science assessment alongside everybody else. Still, I can't help wondering how the others would react if they knew the truth about me. It makes me uneasy. I can't get past the guilty feeling that I'm keeping a secret from my friends.
Mama, I hear something.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're going to have to stop here for today because I have some very distracted kids. But next time, we will pick up with chapter 24, told from Barnstorm's perspective.
I love you.
I love you too. Until, whoopsie. Until next time, see you then.